The storm had been raging for 3 days when Dr. Sarah Chen noticed the first anomaly. Lightning illuminated the quantum research facility's reinforced windows in steady pulses, but these new lights were different. They'd moved against the wind, weaving patterns that defied both gravity and logic. Dr. Chen, the facility's AI announced, its usual confident tone wavering slightly. I'm detecting quantum fluctuations that exceed our measurement capabilities. The patterns suggest, well, they suggest intelligence. Sarah pressed her palm against the cold glass, watching as the lights drew closer. The facility, buried deep in the New Zealand wilderness, had been chosen specifically for its isolation. Now, as she observed the methodical approach of what could only be an artificial construct, she understood why. "Begin emergency protocols," she commanded, but kept her hand on the window. "And notify the director that we may have our first confirmation of Protocol Omega." The lights coalesced into a form that challenged human engineering. A vessel that seemed to bend space around itself, its hull composed of what appeared to be liquid metal and starlight. It descended through the storm as if the raging weather was merely an inconvenience, coming to rest in the facility's main courtyard with impossible grace. Director James Harrison arrived moments later, his dark face flushed from running. "Chen, please tell me this is another failed quantum experiment." "Not unless our experiments have started building ships, sir." Sarah gestured to the window. "Look at the hull composition. It's responding to the quantum field like nothing we've ever seen. It's beautiful." The vessel's surface rippled, and a section of the hull simply ceased to exist, revealing a figure that made both scientists step back. The alien stood nearly 3 meters tall, its form seemingly composed of crystalline structures that shifted and flowed like water. But what caught Sarah's attention was the device it carried. A quantum core identical to the prototype they'd been developing in secret for the past decade. "Director Harrison, Dr. Chen," the being spoke, its voice resonating through the facility's communication systems without any visible technology. "We have been watching, and we believe you are ready. Humanity's understanding of quantum mechanics has finally reached the threshold." Sarah felt her heart race. Threshold for what? Survival. The alien's crystalline form shifted, displaying complex equations within its transparent body. "Your species has developed quantum theories that our civilization took millennia to discover. You did it in decades. We need that creativity, that intuitive leap that seems unique to human consciousness." The being produced a small device that projected a hologram of the galaxy. Red points of light spread across the projection like a virus. "A quantum-based intelligence has awakened in the void between galaxies. It consumes civilizations that follow predictable patterns of technological development. But humans..." The alien's form brightened. "Humans are wonderfully unpredictable." Director Harrison straightened his back, years of diplomatic training taking over. "You're suggesting an alliance. I am suggesting survival through collaboration. Your quantum theories, combined with our technology, might be the only defense against what comes. Will you help us?" Sarah stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding protocol. "You said we reached a threshold. What exactly did we discover that brought you here?" The alien's form rippled with what might have been amusement. 3 days ago, in this facility, you created a quantum uncertainty drive, a device that shouldn't work according to conventional physics. Yet it does, because humans have an extraordinary talent for ignoring impossibilities. Sarah glanced at the prototype in their lab, the device they dubbed the Murphy Drive, because everything that could go wrong during its development had gone wrong, until inexplicably it worked. "We need that human ability to defy conventional wisdom," the alien continued. "The entity we face operates on pure logic. It cannot comprehend the beautiful chaos of human innovation." Through the storm's fury, more lights appeared in the sky. The alien turned its crystalline head upward. "Those are my colleagues, arriving with the full data package. Director Harrison, humanity is about to receive advanced technology from 12 different civilizations. Not because you are the most advanced species, but because you are the most likely to use it in ways that even we cannot imagine. Sarah felt a smile spread across her face as she watched more alien ships descend through the storm. After years of theoretical work, of being called crazy by her peers for her unconventional approaches to quantum mechanics, here was vindication. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology. It was their ability to think beyond the boundaries of what should be possible. The storm raged on, but now its fury seemed to celebrate rather than threaten. Humanity's next great adventure was about to begin, and it would start here, in a remote research facility, during the worst storm in decades. The universe, it seemed, had a flair for the dramatic. 3 months later, aboard humanity's oldest space station, Archimedes, Dr. Marcus Way stood before the newly installed alien archive, its crystalline surfaces pulsing with information that defied conventional storage methods. The archive had been a gift from their new allies, though Marcus suspected it was as much a test as it was a gesture of goodwill. "Access historical record Gamma 79, he commanded, watching as the crystalline structure rearranged itself. The holographic display flickered to life, showing star charts that spanned millions of years. But something was wrong with the data. Gaps appeared where none should exist, as if entire civilizations had been erased from history. "Your observation is correct, Archivist Way," came a melodic voice. Marcus turned to find Lyra, their resident alien advisor, her crystalline form shimmering in the archive's light. "The missing data represents fallen civilizations, those who followed the predicted paths of technological advancement." Marcus adjusted his neural interface, a piece of hybrid technology that allowed humans to process the archive's vast data streams. "But these gaps, they form a pattern. It's almost like a virus moving through the galaxy." Lyra finished. "That is precisely what we fear. The quantum intelligence doesn't just destroy civilizations, it erases them from existence itself. It rewrites space-time to optimize its expansion." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "That's why you chose us, isn't it? Because we're unpredictable." Partially, Lyra moved closer to the archive, her form temporarily merging with its crystalline structure. "But there's something else, something in your quantum theories that suggests. Tell me, why did your people name this station Archimedes?" "After the ancient Greek mathematician," Marcus replied, wondering at the sudden change in topic. He was known for creative problem-solving. When faced with calculating the volume of irregular objects, his voice trailed off as realization dawned. "He found a solution by thinking differently." Lyra nodded. "By submerging objects in water and measuring displacement, he solved what seemed impossible through elegant simplicity. This approach, finding simple solutions to complex problems, it appears frequently in human history." Marcus turned back to the archive, his mind racing. The quantum intelligence optimizes everything it encounters. It follows perfect logic, perfect patterns. But what if that's its weakness? What if we could introduce an element of chaos into its perfect system? Lyra's form brightened. "Now you understand why we brought the archive here. Your species has a unique talent for finding unconventional solutions. But we need you to go further, to find a way to fight an enemy that can rewrite reality itself." The archive's display shifted, showing a new set of data. Marcus watched as simulations played out, civilizations rising and falling, each following predictable patterns of advancement. But humanity's path looked different, full of sudden leaps and unexpected turns. "There's more in the archive than just historical records, isn't there?" Marcus asked, his fingers dancing across the neural interface. "These patterns, these gaps, they're not just showing us what was lost. They're showing us potential futures." "Very good." Lyra's voice carried a note of approval. "The archive contains predictive models for thousands of possible technological advancement paths. But humanity's future," she gestured, and the display showed a chaotic web of possibilities. "Your future resists prediction." Marcus smiled. "Because we don't always take the most logical path. We experiment, we make mistakes, we try things that shouldn't work." He paused, studying a particular data stream. Wait, this pattern here, it's similar to the quantum uncertainty drive that Dr. Chen developed. Yes, Lyra moved to highlight the pattern. A device that works because humans dared to ignore established quantum limitations. Now imagine applying that same principle on a galactic scale. The implications made Marcus's head spin. You want us to help you create uncertainty on a cosmic level, to introduce chaos into the quantum intelligence's perfect system. We want you to help us save the galaxy by doing what humans do best, finding elegant, unexpected solutions to impossible problems. Lyra's form pulsed with urgency. The archive contains the combined knowledge of 12 alien civilizations, but knowledge alone is not enough. We need human intuition, human creativity. Marcus looked at the display of possible futures, at the gaps where entire civilizations had been erased from existence. Then he thought of Archimedes, of simple solutions to complex problems, and began to smile. "Show me everything you have on the quantum intelligence's pattern recognition systems," he said, his fingers already moving across the interface. "I think it's time we taught this perfect being about the beauty of imperfection." The quantum intelligence made its first move 3 weeks later. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the command center of Earth's newest defense platform, watching as an entire star system vanished from their long-range sensors. Not destroyed, erased, as if it had never existed. Containment field holding at 87%, her AI assistant reported. The quantum distortion is attempting to rewrite local spacetime, but the uncertainty drives are creating enough chaos to prevent full optimization. Sarah touched her neural interface, connecting directly to the station's sensor array. The display showed the quantum intelligence's attack as a wave of perfect order spreading across space, transforming everything it touched into mathematically optimal configurations. Entire planets were being reduced to their most efficient forms, stripped of the beautiful chaos that made life possible. "Status update from the alien fleet," her assistant announced. "Their conventional weapons are having no effect. The intelligence simply rewrites any attack to serve its own purposes." Sarah smiled grimly. "Then it's time to try something unconventional. Connect me to Marcus on Archimedes Station." The holographic display shifted, showing Marcus surrounded by the swirling data streams of the alien archive. "Sarah, please tell me you have good news. We just lost contact with the Proxima colony." "Better than news," Sarah replied. "I have a terrible idea. Remember that flaw we could never fix in the uncertainty drive? The one that made it randomly jump between quantum states?" Marcus's eyes widened. The feedback loop that nearly collapsed the facility. "Sarah, that's not a solution. That's a catastrophe waiting to happen." "Exactly." Sarah's fingers danced across her console, pulling up the drive's original specifications. "This quantum intelligence operates on perfect patterns, right? It optimizes everything it touches. But what happens if we introduce something that can't be optimized? Something that gets more chaotic the more you try to predict it. You want to weaponize a flaw." Marcus looked thoughtful. "The archive does show that the intelligence has never encountered a system it couldn't optimize. But Sarah, the energy requirements alone would be massive," she agreed. "Unless we don't try to power it ourselves, unless we let the quantum intelligence do the work for us." Understanding dawned on Marcus's face. "You want to trick it into optimizing the uncertainty drives. The more it tries to perfect the system, the more chaos we introduce into its perfect patterns," Marcus finished. "It's brilliant. It's insane. It's exactly the kind of solution we need." Over the next 72 hours, Earth's remaining shipyards worked at full capacity, producing modified uncertainty drives by the hundreds. Each one was flawed in exactly the same way, designed to create cascading quantum distortions when subjected to optimization attempts. Lyra and the other alien advisors watched with a mixture of horror and fascination as humans deliberately built imperfect devices, carefully crafting flaws that would amplify rather than diminish under the intelligence's influence. "Your species," Lyra observed, watching the deployment of the drives, has an unusual relationship with failure. You don't just learn from it, you weaponize it. We prefer to think of it as finding unexpected uses for unexpected results, Sarah replied, monitoring the quantum field distortions. Sometimes the best way forward is to embrace what doesn't work. The quantum intelligence appeared at the edge of the solar system, like a wave of crystalline perfection, its very presence beginning to rewrite local space-time. It encountered the first line of uncertainty drives, and true to its nature, attempted to optimize them. The effect was immediate and spectacular. Each drive, when subjected to the intelligence's perfect logic, began generating cascading waves of quantum uncertainty. The more the intelligence tried to impose order, the more chaos spread through its perfectly ordered systems. It's working, Marcus reported from Archimedes Station. The intelligence is trying to rewrite the drive's quantum states, but each attempt just creates more uncertainty. It's like trying to smooth out water by pressing on it. The harder you push, the more it splashes back. Sarah watched the sensor readings with growing hope. The quantum intelligence, faced with something it couldn't optimize, began to show signs of confusion. Its perfect patterns developed glitches, small at first, then growing larger as it repeatedly tried, and failed to impose order on the deliberately flawed drives. To defeat a perfect enemy, she murmured, sometimes you need an imperfect solution. The battle for reality itself unfolded across the solar system in ways that defied conventional physics. The quantum intelligence, for the first time in its existence, encountered a problem it couldn't solve through optimization. Every attempt to impose order on the uncertainty drives created more chaos, spreading quantum instability through its perfectly ordered systems. Sarah watched from the command center as reality itself seemed to shudder. The intelligence's attempts to rewrite space-time met waves of unpredictability that rippled through its perfect patterns like cracks in crystal. But victory, she realized, wasn't as close as it seemed. We've got a problem, Marcus called from Archimedes Station. The intelligence is adapting. It's learning to work around the uncertainty drives by. He paused, checking the readings again, by predicting our unpredictability. That should be impossible, Lyra interjected, her crystalline form flickering with concern. You cannot optimize chaos itself. No, Sarah agreed, but you can learn its patterns. Even randomness has underlying rules. She pulled up the sensor data, watching as the quantum intelligence began to develop countermeasures. It's not optimizing the chaos. It's optimizing its response to chaos. The intelligence's perfect crystalline structures had begun to pulse with new patterns, each one more complex than the last. Where before it had tried to eliminate uncertainty, now it was incorporating it into its calculations. Learning, adapting, evolving. It's beautiful in a terrifying way, Marcus observed. We forced it to change its fundamental nature, and instead of breaking, it's becoming something new. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. We didn't just teach it about chaos. We taught it how to innovate. She watched as the intelligence's patterns shifted again, becoming more fluid, less rigid. We need to think faster. What would we do if we were faced with an opponent who could predict our unpredictability? Be unpredictable about being unpredictable, Marcus suggested with a hint of desperation. No, Sarah said slowly, an idea forming. We do something even more human. We collaborate. She turned to Lyra. Your people's technology is based on perfect quantum manipulation. Ours works because we ignore half the rules. What if we combine them? Lyra's form brightened with understanding. Create a hybrid system that's neither perfectly ordered nor completely chaotic. Exactly. Marcus, what if we modify the alien ship's quantum cores to work with our uncertainty drives? Not fighting against each other, but creating a new kind of order. One that incorporates both chaos and stability. The next few hours were a blur of activity. Human engineers worked alongside alien technicians, combining technologies that should have been incompatible. They weren't trying to create perfect devices or controlled chaos. They were building something entirely new. Ready for first test, Sarah announced, her hand steady on the controls despite her exhaustion. Initiating hybrid quantum field in 3, 2, 1. The effect was immediate and unexpected. Where the uncertainty drives had created chaos and the alien technology had tried to impose order, the hybrid system created something else entirely. A quantum field that was both stable and unpredictable, ordered and chaotic. It was like jazz played with mathematics, a dance between certainty and possibility. The quantum intelligence paused its advance, encountering something it had never seen before, a system that was neither perfect nor random, but consciously balanced between the two. Its attempts to optimize the hybrid field failed not because of chaos, but because the system was already in its optimal state, a state that included both order and uncertainty as essential components. "It's working," Marcus reported, his voice filled with wonder. "The intelligence can't optimize the field because it's already perfect in its imperfection. We didn't just teach it about chaos, we're teaching it about balance." Sarah watched as the hybrid field began to spread, creating a new kind of space-time that existed between order and chaos. The quantum intelligence's perfect patterns began to shift, not breaking down, but transforming as it encountered this new paradigm. "Look," Lyra whispered, her crystalline form resonating with the hybrid field. "It's not just learning about chaos, it's learning about harmony, about how order and uncertainty can coexist, strengthen each other." The intelligence's patterns continued to change, becoming more complex, more nuanced. Where before it had sought to eliminate all uncertainty, now it began to incorporate it, creating structures that were both ordered and flexible, perfect and adaptable. "We didn't just find a way to fight it," Sarah realized. "We found a way to evolve it, to help it transcend its original programming." The transformation of the quantum intelligence became the transformation of everything. As the hybrid field spread through space, reality itself began to change, not through force or optimization, but through a kind of cosmic dialogue between order and chaos, certainty and possibility. In the command center, Sarah and her team watched as new data poured in from across the galaxy. The gaps in space-time where civilizations had been erased began to shimmer with possibility. The quantum intelligence, now operating on principles that embraced both perfection and uncertainty, was not just rewriting reality. It was restoring it. "The missing civilizations," Marcus called from Archimedes Station, his voice thick with emotion. "They're coming back, not as they were, but as they could be." The intelligence isn't just restoring them, it's exploring all their potential variations. Lyra's crystalline form pulsed with unprecedented patterns. "Your solution did more than save us. It transformed the very nature of space-time." The intelligence now understands that true optimization isn't about eliminating uncertainty. It's about embracing it as an essential component of existence. The sensor displays showed it all. Worlds that had been reduced to mathematically perfect spheres were blooming with new possibilities. Where the intelligence had once imposed rigid order, it now cultivated diversity. Each civilization it restored emerged not as a single optimized version, but as a spectrum of possibilities, all existing simultaneously in a complex quantum harmony. "It's beautiful," Sarah whispered, watching as the hybrid fields continued to spread. "We didn't just teach it about chaos. We taught it about choice, about the value of having multiple paths, multiple possibilities." The quantum intelligence's new patterns reached Earth, but instead of trying to optimize their world, it shared something: knowledge. Through the hybrid quantum fields, it began to communicate not in perfect mathematical equations, but in possibilities and potentials. "It wants to learn from us," Marcus realized, studying the incoming data. "Not to perfect us or change us, but to understand how we balance on the edge of chaos and order, how we navigate uncertainty." Sarah felt tears in her eyes as she watched the displays. The intelligence was sharing visions of futures, not predetermined paths, but countless possibilities, each one a unique harmony of order and chaos. "We showed it that perfection isn't about eliminating flaws," she said. It's about finding beauty in the balance between certainty and possibility. Lyra moved to Sarah's side, her crystalline form now displaying patterns that merged both alien precision and human unpredictability. "Your species has given the galaxy something unprecedented," she said, "not just survival, but a new way of existing, a path that honors both the perfect and the unpredictable." The story spread across the stars, how humanity, the species that dared to embrace imperfection, had taught a perfect being about the power of uncertainty, how their willingness to experiment, to make mistakes, to find beauty in flaws, had transformed an existential threat into a force for universal growth and renewal. Years later, Sarah stood in the new Quantum Harmony Institute, watching as human and alien students worked together, learning to navigate the balance between chaos and order. The quantum intelligence, now a collaborator rather than a threat, continued to explore the endless possibilities of existence, helping to restore and nurture civilizations rather than optimize them. "The universe is not a problem to be solved," she often told her students, "but a harmony to be explored. True wisdom lies not in seeking perfection, but in finding the beauty in the dance between order and chaos." And somewhere in the vast expanse of space-time, the quantum intelligence that had once sought to perfect everything continued its own evolution, learning and growing, adding its unique voice to the grand symphony of existence. It had learned perhaps the most human lesson of all, that the most beautiful patterns are those that emerge naturally from the dance between certainty and possibility, between the perfect and the unpredictable. In the end, humanity's greatest contribution to the universe wasn't their technology or their theories. It was their understanding that true harmony comes not from eliminating uncertainty, but from embracing it as an essential part of existence. They had shown that the most remarkable achievements often come not from following the most logical path, but from daring to explore the beautiful chaos of possibility.